you for having me. I think Donald Trump is the angel that has been sent to emancipate the emancipation of Biafra. We must understand that in the cabinet of Donald Trump, we have a very critical person, Susan Willie. Susan Willie, who is the current chief of staff of Donald Trump, was captured some few weeks ago, having conversations with some critical states that need to be delivered from the shackles of Boko Haram, which by extension is the Fulani Caliphate. We can see that most of the NGOs that we have in Nigeria today are domiciled in the north. Most of the NGOs which are financed, when we look at it historically, we saw that these were the machinations of Barack Obama. Barack Obama, who had a deal, unfortunately, he had a deal with Buhari that they have to do everything to bring Nigeria down. Because when Jonathan was in power, when Jonathan was in power, Nigeria was speculated to be the biggest nation in Africa and even ahead of some European countries. So you will understand that when Barack came in, they financed Fulani because they know that the Fulanis are always anti-progressiveness. The only thing they want, the only thing they like is Sharia. The only thing they want is to suppress people and take away people's progress. And they gave that to who? To Buhari. Then the NGOs started coming in. If you look at it before 2014, we didn't have NGOs in this country. US aid was not coming into this country. Obama even wanted to pass a bill that man will be marrying each other. So when Trump came on board, the first step Trump took was he called Buhari. He said, Buhari, why are you killing my people in the southeast? He asked him that question. He asked him that, Buhari, are you sure you are not a dummy? What is going on? Buhari was just laughing. He asked him again. He said, why are you killing Christians? If you take a look at the Nigerian man, the region that is predominantly Christians are the Biafras. And if you look at it, within that period of 2017-2018, that was when Kanu residence was invaded. That was when his father was killed because of that abuse of human rights. Donald Trump has not forgotten. Kanu, this is why it's good to be good. When Donald Trump was about to win his election in 2020, Kanu was one of the very important contributors. Kanu, a very charismatic and a very vocal person, he was in that convention and he ensured that he paid his dues. And that was when he had that relationship with Susu Willis. You will see that the first step when Donald Trump came on board, he said that US aid that is financing the Fulanis will stop. You will see that they have not been crying. They have been concocting, coming up with all manner of cock and bull stories, saying that so it is the Christians. It has never been the Christians financing this. Orabweze will have a day because, of course, she is on the path of truth. And this is the same cause Simon Ekpa came out to extend. Because ever since Nnamdi Kanu has been incarcerated, Simon Ekpa came to push that agenda. They started having lobbies in the United States of America. Don't forget, they told you that Simon Ekpa will be extradited. Since when? Since when? They have told you he will be extradited since January. Have you seen anything? But instead, it is Nigerian army that has been disgraced. Canada saw what they are doing to the Biafrans. You can see that there is one-time abuse of human rights in the southeast. And don't forget, we have what we call an BRGIE annex in Canada. And they reported this case to the Canadian government. The Nigerian government or the Nigerian army was invited that they should bring 7 people were packing themselves to Canada. The man said, what is going on here? They asked them again. They said, we only invited 10 of the Nigerian army. You are bringing 70. Are you people trying to run away? Or are you trying to bring your issues, your terrorism into our state? And they were denied. They were told to go to hell. At this stage, it is imminent that there has always been a voice of truth. And no matter how evil tries to spread its rumors, it only takes one day, because it is apparent now that the Nigerian army, the Nigerian government, all along have been complicit in the killings, in the ridicule and humiliations of the southeastern states of the Biafras. Chidi Odin Kanu came out and questioned Ribadu. Kanu Ribadu, why are you still holding Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Tinubu has been questioned. Why are you still holding Nnamdi Kanu? There's no reply for that. He has also asked Ribadu, why did the Nigerian army take 70 instead of 10? Ribadu has switched off his phone. He cannot, there's no response. All of them, they have no response. There's only one thing here. It shows that Nigeria as a state does not have respect for rule of law. They do not have respect for what? For what we call human rights. Only the Fulani seems to have their way. Orabueze is having a very big win. Alex Storm must be very careful, because we know he is about to go into what we call a very dirty deal, wherein he wants to have an exchange of the Biafra gas for the extradition of who? Of Simon Ekpa. But it's going to fail, because Donald Trump, just as Donald Trump has intervened in Ukraine incident, you know what Donald Trump has done? You know what Donald Trump did to the Hamas? He called the Hamas and said, I give you 24 hours.
Saturday to do the needful.
And by Friday night, as if they were doing vigil, all of them, we don't want wahala. Carry your picking them. It is just a matter of time. It is ticking.
Oh.
The caliphate of the Fulani, he is clipping it one after the other. The money that is funding those terrorists has been cut short now. Very soon, they will start running out from the bushes into the city. We'll start picking them one by one. And then from there, look at what is going on in Sokoto. Why has the Sultan never been attacked for one day? That's my question. My brother, they will tell you that they are fighting in Ikeja. Every time, Ikeja. But the Sultan's house is at Guinness. No, but nothing happened to him.
Or you could said.
Nothing happened to him. It tells you one thing. They know that if these people go, within 2 weeks, I guarantee you, the North will start stabbing. Because they know that the resources that they are able to exploit from that southern part of the country is what that is sustaining them. And they must do everything. Those that were supporting them, which were the Democrats. And you know, during that election, I was looking at some of my Igbo brothers who were supporting Democrats, who were hoping for Kamala Harris to come in. We were just looking at them like, it seems you don't even understand what liberation means. You don't. Donald Trump's first speech, the very first day he made a speech when he won, he said anywhere in the world where people are suppressed, he will intervene. That was the first blow. First blow. With Pakistan, you know, there was this Palestine, this thing. He started deporting them. He said, if you do not like USA, go back to your country. The next thing, Hamas got their own share of it. Next thing, I am sure, is going to be the Biafrans. And of course, by the end of the day, we are going to have Orabueze, Simon Ekpa, and Nnamdi Kanu vindicated. Thank you.
Finally, on this issue, some people are saying that with the revelation coming from Scott Perry, you know, a congressman, it is going to trigger Donald Trump getting EU nations to show and sign into final Biafra recognition. Consider the fact that that revelation by Scott Perry might have triggered, you know, the sufferness of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa. Is that really possible?
Of course, it is possible. You must understand that there is a land, they call it Somaliland. That land was never supposed to be a recognized land. When Donald Trump came, he recognized it. When Donald Trump came, he made Jerusalem once again the capital of Israel. Until today, nobody dares
is that the Kenyan government under William Ruto rising up to apologize to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, signals world attention to what transpired between Nigeria, that no due process was not followed, that the Kenyan also committed international conspiracy, against a man who is duly asking for self-determination and for defense of his people against the killings spearheaded by the likes of, because this APC government we are seeing today was championed and brought to the limelight by the same Tinubu, who also involved meeting Obama, meeting on the rest of them, going to Chatham House and the rest of them, and parlayed and to an extent donated over $500 million to make sure that Donald Trump does not come back to power as at that time. So that is it. And
do you think Trump will ever forgive them? Forgive Nigeria, the Nigerian government?
It's not about it's not about Nigerian government. It's about those who are involved. What are their intentions? What do they intend to achieve? At the end of the day, and we've seen the escalation of jihadist movement in Nigeria. Conquest, killings. Almost all the 36 states of the federation. And not only that, these people seem to have conspired, against the protocols of diplomatic, relations among nations, breaking treaties, smashing protocols that held Commonwealth and other nations together, breaking into the United Nations Act, committing a erroneous crime, and because they feel that the man Obama there as president or Joe Biden as president, unfortunately they didn't foresee Trump coming at the end of the day, and now that Trump has come, I told the whole world that with all these factors and resistance coming from the world organizations, world leaders, because it looks like Obama, Donald Trump, and Tinubu might not be in good terms. It looks like the treaty, the diplomatic relationship has broken down, and now what happened to Jonathan might likely happen to him. And if they are also looking at options of resistance as a result of if power decided to move elsewhere and there's resistance, and then they are going to use that opportunity to definitely plot in an ally of the Western world, of the superpowers, the Israel and the Americans, and that's what they are targeting about Biafra. It's an exclusive analysis based on the calculation that is being built around Nigeria currently now, around Obama currently now, around Malawi, and all those who are involved in that malicious criminality in Kenya, which the Kenyan government has come out to say they are ready to testify against Nigeria at any time, any day, anywhere.
Okay, but we saw what happened last week when Donald Trump, appointed the first Biafran ambassador in person of Ricky, Swart, and this was so shocking. They said finally it's as if Donald Trump are finally, agree to move towards the declaration of Biafra. Like he said, Ricky Swart will be, the one in charge of the business and investment in the Biafra land. And with what is happening now, do you not think, at the same time, do you not think it's that time Kenyatta come out to publicly apologize to the people of Biafra for what?
Yes, Kenyatta might likely do that, but at least you haven't done that. The Kenyan government has already done that on behalf of Kenyatta. But that does not mean that you are going to escape judgment. You are going to escape trial, or you are going to escape arrest, or you are going to escape jail.
So
this matter has to be tried, because you contravene deliberately the law of that binds treaties, acts, of civility and organizations and nations, that came together and agreed, and this is how it's going to be. So unfortunately, because you do not want to kill, you just want to make sure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or any other opposing voice is being shut down completely, then you contravene and break laws, international laws. We invade nations, invade countries, just because nobody's going to ask you why. I think it is time now to ask those people, what actually happened between Russia and America in that election. Then what actually happened? Because these are the top matters in the global world table now, that the world leaders are looking at, and they are very strategic about it. They might not be making noise. That's why you see so many appointments, Donald Trump have made in recent times has been always, IPOB, lobbyists, bringing them in the government. Because like we said, trillions of dollars have been budgeted for a proper takeoff of Biafra at any point in time. We enjoy, we are able to get what will give us, recognition from these entities. And I can tell you clearly that Donald Trump is already engaging the British government, Keir Starmer, somewhere in Scotland currently now, and people are speculating it's not related. It might be related to issues that have to do with decisions that will be taken in recognition of the first Jewish black nation in Africa. And this is a welcome development. The IPOB leadership are not sleepy, but they can gradually be filling their handwriting on the wall quietly and professionally. Diplomatic moves, everywhere. Why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention, he has not been forgotten. His subjects are taking up the mantle, are taking up the cross, from one place to another. And you can see successfully they have been able to solve some of these things. So for him to come up with an ambassador, and with a particular task, to structure how the whole thing is going to be at the end of the day, everything has to be planned properly, and that is where they are waiting. That possibly there's this kind of a thing take place in Nigeria. There will be no election. It's a proper time to plant Biafra at the end of the day, and plant an ally of America and Israel at the end of the day, so that they'll be able to checkmate the excess of how Christians are being killed in this part of the world, especially West Africa, Nigeria.